Hello, hello, hello. JoeHart here, person with disabilities, primarily invisible disabilities. I live in Vermont. I'm in Idaho right now, trying to figure out what to do in Idaho. It's going to take me a while to do that. I had a fairly productive day considering, you know, my challenges these days. But yeah, it's anyway. I don't know if you're there, Liza. I assume you just said hello. Hello, Lady V. Hey, how are you? Thank you for showing up. That's so cool. Um, so Liza, I don't know if let me read the comments because they're anyway the well StreamYard, that's StreamYard. And then Shay Benet says I can't join your live tonight, but I want to say hello and I hope it goes well. We'll catch it on replay. And she's never been here, so I'm pretty excited to see Shay Benet stop by. If I have a lull tonight, I'll probably send her. Well, thanks. I might text her. Neil, you're always here. Liza, hello. So Liza said hello at a 7-Eleven, so she probably dropped by early and stuff. Um, she's been sending me a lot of information, and I haven't been able to read all of it, but I've got a couple things queued up to share tonight if we want to. OTC. So so anyway, I'll want to approve some of the stuff through her, and some of it, it was generic stuff, so I don't have to approve it through her. So anyway, Lady V, hello, Joe, and Lady is great, good, and missed you. Yeah, I've missed you, and I've missed these streams, and it's just weird being here because it's just weird being here. I can't believe I'm here, and I can't believe I missed everything. So so Neil says, "Howdy, Joe. How are you?" And then Nightbot. As you can tell, I'm in the restaurant, so I'm going to try to. I have this right next to my mouth, so I think I can talk quieter and still be heard. So I'm going to try to do that. OTC, Santa Joe. Hey, OTC. Oh, thanks, Lady V. Lady V. Hello, Liza. Yeah, she said hello. Anyway, Shay Benet was an hour early, and Liza was 40 minutes early. So I think she just said hello and then went, she went somewhere. So that's kind of cool. OTC, Lady V. And Lady V says, I promoted your channel last night on Brits. Thank you very much. I get nervous over there. I don't know where I fit in. And Liza, how are you? It's good to see you. Thanks for being so early, and then you came back. But thank you, Lady B. Liza, hello, beautiful people. Yeah, I'm gonna. Sound is perfect. I'm gonna keep going up and down. There's an employee right behind me, and I don't want to be asked to leave or anything. So I probably will try to keep it a little down. But so anyway, it'll probably fluctuate. You'll say, no, that was perfect. No, that one was perfect. So Lady B, OTC. So so Lady V, if you want to come up, you're welcome to do that. I don't, it can go either way in case you have, other, whatever you want to do is fine with me. It'd be nice to have you up here. Liza, I think before you got here, I said that you've been sending me a lot of information, and I haven't been able to read all of it. The 88-page report and the 50-page report. I haven't read every word on both of those, but I queued a couple of the things up, and I wanted to approve it by you. If I could, now two of, and I tried to. My one email address I like, but I can't print from that, so I have to forward it to my other email address to print it. Or that's true to print it, but it's also true to have access to StreamYards. My main email, bring her up. I adore her. Who, Liza? I would love to have Liza up, and I'm probably still tired from last night. I meant to. The first person I meant to ask to come up was Lady V. So I hope I didn't say that incorrectly, but Lady V, you're of course always invited, and I'd love to have you up. And Liza would, Liza is always welcome to come up here. She has some very passionate things that she has sent me. I think she would like to talk about it. I've got a couple of the things queued up. Some are, you read and it puts you to sleep. Let me see. Let me get the invite going here. So let me copy the invite, and that's been copied, so I can close that. Boy, I'm really rusty. I like to step through everything, but that's because I'm not. So here's the link for Lady V and Liza. You're welcome to come up too. So Liza, hello, Lady V. And then the Nightbots, I'm not going to do anything with the Nightbots. They're going to just go. I have 4. It's all financial, and I can always use whatever. Do I have learned. Oh, there comes Lady V. So I'm going to add her to the stream. Let me see. That's a icon. That's not a. Yeah, that's not live, so that's good. I think her camera's off. So I'm going to add you to the stream in 3, 2, 1. Hey, Lady V, how are you?
Hi, Joe. I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing better than last night. Last night I was kind of a zombie, and I had a couple people here, and I kept saying, "Boy, I need to go to sleep," and they all kept saying, "Boy, you really need to go to sleep." So, um, it was good that I
You
finally.
seem pretty too.
I what?
You seem pretty bummed about getting up there and it turning out kind of the way it did.
It, I was bummed yesterday, and I'm a roller coaster ride anyway. But I took a risk, and the risk I failed. I failed at the risk that I took. So yeah, and that's what risks are. You take a risk, and but today was pretty productive, and I still think I'm going to be here for a couple of days or weeks or I don't know how long, but I have ideas of I really would like to see everything kind of after the fact and interview
Well,
people,
sure.
kind of interview people. So I'm just going to see if it's doable. And if not, I can always drive back. but
Sure. Sure, no problem.
but yeah, it's
Well,
kind of cool.
I'll hang here in the corner while you do your deal, getting
Well,
ready. And I know you have your kind of pattern you like to go through.
well, cool. I appreciate that, but I probably need people to I probably need to anyway. Okay, cool. So Lady V,
Whatever you need, Joe.
cool. Thanks, Lady V. So Lady V says, "Bring her up. I adore her." So that's for you, Liza. We both adore you very much, and just about every one of my viewers can come up if they'd like. Liza, you have tons of time to read all that. Well, since the next court case is June 26th, that's a lot of time. Lady V, yes, link. Okay, cool, that worked. And then, like I said, I'm not going to disable the night bots, so just ignore them and do all that stuff. And Lady V says, please.
I wouldn't either. I think they're fine.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I hope. Oh, she's eating popcorn. So you're licking your lips, your fingers. Is that what you're saying? So, Liza, I'm eating popcorn later if it is okay with you guys. Yeah, anytime. You're always invited. Anytime. Even if I don't invite you, you're always invited. So, yeah, you're probably licking your fingers. I understand. A new prophet. Sweet beard. Thanks, a new prophet. I don't believe I've seen you here before. Welcome. I'm Joe Hart. I'm a person with disabilities, primarily invisible disabilities. I'm pretty new to StreamYard. I like to stream about the Idaho 4. I'm currently in Idaho right now. I live in Vermont. I drove to Pennsylvania whenever it was. It was a blur, maybe 2 weeks ago or less. And I went to the court case there, or I went to the courthouse. I did actually miss the courtroom, but I saw the before and after and all that stuff. And and then it took me a while to figure out how I was going to get to Idaho, and I did. And I drove right up. I was supposed to be about 2.5 hours early, which I didn't plan that. I just would wake up after 2.5 hours sleep and say it's time to keep driving. And so they moved. I didn't know this. My mom grew up in Moscow. Wow, holy moly! I'm there right now, or I'm not there right now. I'm truck stops aren't close to each other. So I'm about an hour and a half away from Moscow. But I was in Moscow, and now I will be back multiple times. But so anyway, Liza was feeding me a lot of information, and I was on the road. So I checked messages as safely as I could. And the moment I drove into Idaho, which was 6:05 in the morning, but it was local time 5:05 in the morning, and supposedly I had 4.5 hours till the court, and I'm like, God, this is easy. I'm going to be super early, and I can and then I got a message from Liza, and it says the court's been moved up 2 hours, so it's moved from 10 to 8. And that's when I found out. I assume it really happened a day or two before that, and I just didn't know. So anyway, I pulled up to the court, exactly 30
No, I
minutes.
think it was that day.
Really? Oh, golly. It seemed a little rushed, but so I showed up, and I didn't. Usually, I go to the front of the line and make sure I'm in the right line because of the Americans with Disabilities Act and iMedia and all that stuff. But I just, I asked one or two people in line, and it sounded like everybody. Oh no, I'm sorry. As I was walking toward the back of the line, I saw Brian Enton, and I said, if Brian Enton's in this line, this is the line I'm supposed to be in. If he doesn't get preferential treatment, then I'm not. I shouldn't even ask. So I got in the back of the line. Maybe 50 people or 45 people. So I got in the line, and that was exactly 7:30, like 7:32 when I walked into the building. So I like to be, with my anxiety, I always like to get places early and get set up early. And then I can, leave. I don't have to stay but I can leave and then go to the restroom and just get ready and then go in and stuff. So they opened the thing, and there's 8 cops, but there's only one cop really doing anything. And they have, it was poorly, anyway, they're not used to this kind of traffic. So, but they had 2, like when you fly at the airport, they have those baskets and you can throw all your watches and, you throw all your stuff in there and you go through the thing and get it at the end. Well, that's one basket per person. Well, they had 2 baskets. So there's like 5 people's stuff in one of those little baskets. I was like, I'm going to lose stuff. So anyway, I get up to the thing. I throw my stuff in. That is the first time that I've never been. I always make noise when I walk through those things. So, be survivor. How are you? So, so I got through, and I said, hey, is there a media list? And they said, I don't think so. So this one female cop called over a male cop, and I said, hey, is there a media list? And he started going through his dissertation that there wasn't. And I said, by the way, I'm disabled. And he looked at me like, wow, did you drive from Vermont? I was like, what? He's like, you didn't drive all the way from Vermont? I said, no, Pennsylvania. I did it in 2 shots. And he was like, okay, here, come on. And I'm like, you know me? And he was like, yeah, we got your message. And so so he brings me toward the court. And again, this is like 12 minutes before 8. So again, Brian, it's too late to get special preferences. It's only 12 minutes before the thing. But we walk up right to the door, and there's 8 people behind me. And then he stops, and he's like, here, let me check with someone. And those 8 people walk by me into the courtyard. And I'm like, I'm not even going to get a seat, much less anything special. But he came back out, and he said, okay, well, anyway, we don't, you can go into the court here and sit wherever you can find, or you can sit in, courthouse B, which is on Zoom. And I said, I'm not going to do Zoom if I just drove 38 hours. I'm going to be live. And he said, well, there it is. You can. And I was just, I just wanted to get in there. But, I was kind of, it's weird. Being an advocate, sometimes I'm the biggest DICK in the world, and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm not, and for that moment, I was just happy that he was aware of me and that he got my message and he was able to try to do something. He essentially did nothing. And that's usually when my advocate, devil horns come out. But I was like, yeah, this is cool. So I got there and, I sat down and same guy, he was like the main bailiff or whatever. So he came in the room and he said, okay, guys, everybody scrunch up. There's still more people coming in and we got to get everybody in here. So scrunch up, get cozy, say hello to your neighbors, and so so the two near me, we did actually say hello to each other, and I was like, hi, which was nice. It helped the shoo, and and then he came in again, and he was trying to be, funny and stuff. He said, by the way, all devices need to be turned off, completely off, not airplane mode, not anything, just completely off. He said the exceptions are those two cameras. They have approval, and the court photographer right here. He says 3 people can have anything out, nothing else. No back, and so everybody was doing that and stuff. I mean, a lot of people already knew that, but 3 or 4 people were turning their stuff off. So it was pretty wild. And exactly at 8:00, one person walked into. Sorry guys, I'm ignoring comments and stuff. Be Survivor, it's great to see you. Liza, it's great to see you. And I'll get to the comments. Sorry about that. I guess I've never told this story, so I feel like, but anyway.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad. Hopefully they are too. And they're reacting. Liza's saying, whoa, so I said, I probably, there, I'll put it up there. Thank you, Liza. So exactly at 8:00, one person walked in, a female, I think the transcribinist or stenographer or whatever she's called, court, you know who I mean. So she sat down, didn't seem too uptight, seemed like a really cool woman. So she sits down, looking much better tonight, Joe. I'm glad you got some rest. Be Survivor and Liza and OTC and the Kansas City Chiefs dude. Sorry, I forgot your name. Neil. Y'all were helping me. You were propping me up last night. So you're right. I'm doing much better. Thank you for noticing. But y'all held me up. You held me up. And I kept saying, I better leave. And everybody would say hi to me. I mean, goodbye. And then I'd keep talking and dozing off. And they're like, you really ought to leave, Joe. And I'm like, yeah, I really ought to. Then I keep talking, whatever. So I finally got it off. So, okay. So she walks in, sits down. Didn't really do much, but then now it's 8:02 and it's 8:03 and it's 8:04. And I'm like, wow, I would think, not everybody has to walk in at 8, but it seems like something would start by 8, maybe the 2 lawyers or something. But it was 8:03. 2 lawyers walk in, the real hotshot female I saw. And I was like, that's not, she looks differently in person than she does on, all the research on the internet. And I think I have the right person, but she looked different. She had really long blonde hair, as far as I could remember. She was really skinny, as far as I could remember. And she isn't online. So I don't know what's the scoop, but she's there, and another lawyer. And then, Bill Santa Claus, the guy that looks like me, Bill Thompson. So they sit down, 8:04, 8:05. And then, like 8:06, Brian walks in with like 2 or 3 cops. I'm like, two Barney Fifes? I mean, don't you think they need like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 2 Barney Fifes? I don't get it. So they walk in. Hey, Kay Briggs. I'm sorry, what was that, Liza? I mean,
20, maybe 20.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Kay Briggs, I feel bad for Brian.
Joe, I'm going to change devices.
Devices? Okay, yeah, go right ahead.
Joe,
yes.
I'm going to, okay.
You glitched out, but I think you're changing your device. Go ahead. Yep. Uh-oh. So yeah, Liza will, I mean, I'm sorry, I keep saying Liza when I mean Lady B. So, so I walked in. So anyway, so the 3 lawyers walked in. Brian walks in with 2 cops and sits down. And he looked, I didn't notice the scratching on his face, but I'm overwhelmed. for me, it's stimulus overwhelming. If I don't get there early, if I don't get a perfect seat, if I don't alleviate my anxiety, I'm just raging with anxiety. So it's just stimulus overload. Once people pointed it out to me, I was like, okay, that's a red face. He might have irritated it with a electric razor or something, whatever. So anyway, he came in with 2 cops, and then finally, the one dude, here's Lady V, she's back. I'm going to add her to the stream. Hey, Lady V, how are you?
Hi, sorry I got on the wrong device when I came on.
No problem. I'm glad you're back, and it sounds much clearer, this one. So that's cool.
Good. All right. I am enjoying. So these lawyers came in and what?
So the 2 Barney Fifes, is that where I left off with you?
Yeah. And I
Okay.
said they needed 20.
Oh, right. Okay. So the 2 Barney Fifes walked in with Brian, sat down. He looked, fine. He looked kind of refreshed. I didn't notice his, my anxiety can peak at any time, especially if I don't get there early and get a perfect seat and get my anxiety down and go to the bathroom and get a water. And, if I don't do all that stuff. So, I didn't notice the scratches on his face. It was just stimulus overload. I was trying to notice what color his outfit was. I notice when I can, but it's probably 40% of the scenario. The other 60% I'm missing. So, anyway, I didn't notice the scratching until, later Brian Enton pointed it out. And he said he didn't see him either. He needed it pointed out to him. So anyway, he seemed pretty refreshed. And then the bailiff that walked in, the guy that was being nice to me, he said, just like the TV show, all rise. And, so we all have to rise. And then the judge walks in, and she's almost to her bench, and she says, you may sit, or whatever she says. Please sit down, or you may sit, or whatever. So we all sit down. She sits down. And, she says, I'd say within 13 to 15 seconds after she sat down, she started. She said, this is court case number, blah, 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 blah. The state of Idaho against Brian, blah, 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 blah. And she said, and I don't want to, I think I have it in my description there. The preliminary status hearing, I think, is what was 2 days ago. And so she said, that's what we're doing today. It's mostly just about scheduling. This should be fairly brief. So the defense started, and she said, well, we would like to request, after you, and I'm going to butcher the details. I'm sure Liza can clear it up, or Lady V can clear it up, but something along the lines of, after a certain event, which I think is the last court, you must schedule your preliminary hearing within 14 days. That's the law. And so the defense, within 14 days. So the defense lawyer stands up, and she says, hey, by the way, I'd like, we need to do research, and we want to have a good case, and we want to be fair. And so we need it and I think she addressed this 14 days. I think she said, I've talked to Brian and stuff. And so I would like it to be in June. And then, so she asked the prosecutor, Santa. I don't like that name. I don't know why I keep calling him Santa, but everybody keeps saying, you look just like him. So he's an attractive person. Anyway, no, I'm joking. So anyway, he stood up and he said, yeah, that would be fine. And for our schedule, it would be a little better to be July instead of June. And I thought that was purely scheduling. I heard from someone that might be named Liza. I think I heard from someone that might be named Liza that said he wants more time. He wants more time to be prepared, which, I've heard, now after the affidavit's been around for a while, you hear that, oh, you could drive a Mack truck through all the holes and that, and then you get nervous. You're like, God, I hope he has enough stuff. So anyway, I thought it was just purely schedule, that he was saying, just for schedule, July's better than June, and so anyway, the judge said, okay, great. So she said, and it was this judge, I really liked her. I don't know why I would dislike a judge, but I really like this woman. And she said, so Brian, and she called him by his first name. She said, Brian, you and I need to have a discussion right now. And he nodded. And she said, and she almost said, just between us, or, something. I liked her. So she said, Brian, do you realize that, and went through all those steps. She said, such and such happened on this date. He said, yes. And she said, do you realize that your preliminary hearing has to be scheduled within 14 days of that? And he said, yes. And I said, have your lawyer discuss the reason why she wants to do June instead of 14 days. And she said a lot more. Like, did you get a complete understanding from your lawyer? And was there any questions, or was it very, very clear why she wants June instead of 14 days? And he said, yes. And the judge says, okay, so do you need any more time to decide whether 14 days is what you want or if June is what you want? And he says, I don't need any more time. And these were yes, yes, no. And they were, and again, I'm just getting his voice. I don't know him from Adam, although I think I'm pretty good at picking up people's messages and whatever. But he seemed to be calm. He seemed to be confident. He seemed to be not crazy. He seemed to be just confident. So, and it's only 3 words: yes, yes, no. She said, okay. And then I forget if she asked the lawyer to repeat it or if she asked Brian directly. But she said, I ultimately they have to talk to the 2 lawyers, not Brian. But I think she said, so, something along the lines of, so June is okay. And he said, yes. So she said, okay. And now I'm back online with the 2 lawyers. One wants the end of June and the other wants July-ish. And so she asked the defense again. They said, so is that okay to do end of June, July-ish? And the defense lawyer, this judge must love her, because she said, sure, that would be fine as long as it's the 4th week of June. She picked the dates. That defense lawyer picked the dates. She says, sure, June, July is fine as long as it's the last week of June. And asked Bill, the prosecutor, and he said, yeah, I'd prefer July, but yeah, that time frame. So she said, okay. And then she, the judge is looking at her computer and trying to do the scheduling and stuff. And it took quite a while. I guess it makes sense. You don't want to have a schedule conflict. So anyway, golly, this is a hell of a story. So he, she said, okay. So and then she comes back, she says, okay, so it looks like the formal scheduling will be June 26th, Monday at 9 a.m. And then that stuff, I got 100%. The other stuff after that, I got 80%. And she said something along the lines of, okay, we'll schedule a week's worth just in case it's going to take 5 days, but it's formally just scheduled for Monday, the 26th. And she said, but we have bracketed a whole week. And then someone, I don't think anybody mumbled, but she said, and by the way, make sure everybody knows that the 5 days are at 9 o'clock. Also, they're not scheduled, but they're at 9 o'clock if they were to happen. So I'm like, wow, 5 days. And I don't know what this thing's doing. I guess it's just, it is the formal status hearing, I think is what it is. Or don't quote me on that. I don't know what it's called, but so it was. So anyway, they did it. And sorry, B Survivor, I'm so behind. I'll catch up with the comments. I appreciate y'all being here and listening. So anyway, that's basically it. And she said, okay, well, that's all we needed to do. Is there anything that the defense needs? No. Is there anything that the prosecutor needs? No. She said, okay, that's it. So she stood up, all rise, or no one said all rise, but as soon as she stood up to leave, everybody stood up. And when she walked out, everybody started putting on their coats and stuff. But, Brian left and the 2 lawyers left and everybody left. And it was, I think it was 10 minutes. I think it was 8:07, which again, that's 7 minutes late by any schedule. That's 7 minutes late. So 8:07 to 8:17. I do believe the whole thing took 10 minutes, and I probably took more than 10 minutes telling this story. Oh my goodness, I should have just showed a live video. So, but anyway, yeah, that was it. It was pretty wild. What do you think, Lady V? Let's see here. So B server looking
Sorry,
much.
I was in another page.
Oh, that's all right.
I think it would have been pretty interesting myself. I mean, it's historical, if nothing else.
It was cool. It was neat, you know. And you know, I know it does sound amazing that I drive 38 hours and I get 10 minutes in a courtyard room. I know that's just baffling, but that is what happened. And I can't help but laugh because that's so pathetic. 38 hours for 10 minutes. But I'll figure out other things to do here. So K Briggs, I feel bad for Brian. So much is uncertain. I don't know if you're a sympathizer of Brian, but I'm not a sympathizer of him. But yeah, it's certainly uncertain. Go ahead. Yep. Liza, are you done with your chips? Or what were you eating? Popcorn. You done with your popcorn?
Yeah,
So
bring her up if she's ready. That's a long drive, though, Joe. I know my husband and I drive to Virginia.
Yeah.
And we enjoy it, but it's still a really long drive, especially at our ages.
And I'm sure you believe me when I say probably every 2 hours or every 3 hours or every 4 hours, I gave up. I said, I can't do this. I can't do this. There's a deadline, and that the only way I'm going to make the deadline is if I sleep 2 or 3 hours a night.
That's hard
to do a nonstop. And I literally went from gas station to gas station. I didn't go to hotels. I didn't go to restaurants. I just drove it. So, that's pretty often. If it's 38 hours and every 3 hours I gave up 12 times. I mean, I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't do this. And then I show up.
Did, and you got to be in something historical. That's pretty cool.
30 minutes. Yeah, I got there 30 minutes early. So B survivor. Yes, I totally understand the anxiety. Oof, it ruins everything. It can. I always like to talk about my efficiency. You know, like when I'm in the zone, you know, I'm 85, 90% efficient, and I'm, you know, my stories I tell and the things I quote, you know, they're pretty accurate. You know, I don't say the wrong name or the wrong city or things like that. But when I'm at 30,
are you going to drop the link for Lisa?
Yeah,
Lisa.
I think it's Liza, but that's
I don't know.
That's what I call her. And
I think you're right. I think it is Liza.
I think I know her well enough that she would tell me if I was wrong.
Oh, she would tell you.
So I just dropped that. It didn't work. Let me try that again. Okay, I just dropped it. So that can be for
Survivor. Is B coming up too?
Yeah. So B
Survivor's going to come up.
Good. Is she? Yeah. That'd be great.
I'm asking you if she's.
She is always invited. B Survivor. You can click on that link too. Okay. Cool. That was during my story. Yes, I was worried about you. I also have debilitating anxiety. I completely understand. Yeah, it was weird. And like I said, with you know, if I said that I wore one hat, which I don't, I wear many hats, but if I wore one hat, it would be an advocate. And my experience, it's only my experience, but my experience since 2011 is advocates don't make friends and they don't keep friends. It's not, you're pushing the envelope. You're always challenging it. So B Survivor, when I was in the courtroom, I could have easily escalated. I could have easily said, look, bailiff, that's not sufficient. The law says you have to provide me with that, and I'm going to force you to do that, as opposed to going, wow, do you really know me? You know, when he started throwing Pennsylvania around in Vermont, I was like, God, it worked. It worked. He got my message. It didn't work. I didn't get what I needed. But so anyway.
Well, you were in there though. That's a good thing.
And I think Liza said something about 45 people. I might want to go back to that B server. It says devices not connected. So I think you need to do that before I can get you in here. Now, I think you can do that here. I think you've done it while you stay in the back room. I think I've seen Brittany say you must leave and come back.
You got
But
to drop. Yeah, press the leave button and then come back up.
Oh, I
That's the
swear.
only way. That's the only way is to press that leave button and then drop down and then come back up. So that disconnects you and it reconnects you.
Cool. So anyway, it was pretty interesting.
You lose your track of what you were going to say?
Well, I'm kind of just all over the place thinking about various things. But K Briggs, the evidence they have so far is weak. We'll see that in court. I don't recognize you of being in my stream. I welcome most all opinions. I don't want you to keep repeating. There, she changed it in front of me. I knew I've seen you do that, B server. So, okay, B server, I'm going to let you in.
Oh.
Is that okay, lady?
Oh, yeah, no, I moved and it hurt. I'm good.
Oh, golly. Pain is no fun.
Yeah, you know what happens when we get older. It's like the body not
Pain
so
is no
willing.
Fun. Yeah. Okay, so B server, I'm going to let you in 3, 2, 1. Hey, B, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming up.
Good. What are you talking about when I come in every time?
So I've been in Brittany's stream a lot, and she has people come in that says their thing's not connected, and Brittany says you got to leave and you got to come back. And I'm like, no, I swear I've seen B server come in, and it was not connected, and she corrected it right in front of me. So somehow you were able to. She did it just right now. So when she came in, it said not connected, and then she corrected it. I don't know what you're doing, B server, but the pros don't even know about it. Somehow you know how to do it.
I don't have a clue how you did that.
Oh, I have no idea. I just push a bunch of buttons and exit out of things, and I just get here somehow.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm sitting out on my front deck right now. It's really nice out, so I'm sitting out here. So if my mic gets loud from like any breezes of the wind, just let me know and I can like mute between.
Wow. Okay. I don't hear anything yet, and that sounds great. Is it? I guess it's dark, right? Is it sunset?
Oh yeah, it's 11:30 at night, but it was really nice out today, and yeah, I'm sitting out here.
So I'm going to go back through the comments. I didn't finish K Briggs. So K Briggs, if you're going to just keep repeating the same topic, I'm not going to welcome you here. I doubt if I'll block you. I doubt if I'll mute you, but I might. I don't have hard and fast rules of how I do that. But don't keep repeating the same thing. I don't want to hear about Brian's sympathizers. I don't. He's innocent until proven guilty, but I don't want that shit here. So you get that, K Briggs? Okay. So a new prophet, Sweetbeard, and a new prophet said, my mom grew up in Moscow. That's really cool. Oh, golly. I just hit something. Did everybody change? Looks like you are. So, sorry, this is repeat. B server. Hi, Joe, and hello. Okay, so Liza said 45 people. I thought it will have been more. I'm not good with crowds, but the bailiff definitely had like the way I describe people is we all have a hula hoop. We all have a hula hoop around us of how close we can get close to other people. And I think some people have a bigger hula hoop and some people have a smaller hula hoop. And I have a pretty tight I have a pretty wide hula hoop. I don't usually hug and, so anyway, I would say my body was touching both the bodies to the left and right of me. So it was pretty cozy. So I would probably put the total, and I'm counting everybody. I'm counting all the media, which there was only 4. They first said, so anyway, I would say it was 60 people max or 55. So these are small courtrooms. They're small counties, they're small cities, they don't have a phenomenally famous case there very often. So I bet they never fill up with 60 people. So anyway, that's what do you think, Liza? Do you think 60 is a little bigger? So said, what? And I would love to know what Liza meant when she says, wow. I don't know how to pronounce that. Wow. Wow. So,
I think it's more like, whoa.
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 Yeah, Liza, if you remember what I said, let me know. No, you don't have to let me know. But if you want to, you can. So B Survivor looks much better tonight. I'm glad you got some rest. Thank you. Thank you for being there, B. And I feel bad. No, there's Kay Briggs. So Liza, go ahead. Yep. And yes, I totally understand. Thank you. And is it no? Okay. Yeah. I don't think I may have answered this, but let me just read it and make sure I did.
You did while you were talking, and then I kind of said okay, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it helps me to.
Yeah.
So is it normal to have so many days scheduled for this hearing? They just scheduled for June. Now, do you mean, is it normally 4 months out, or do you mean that they scheduled 5 days for it?
Like they scheduled 5 days for it. I feel like that's a lot of, like if they use all 5 days, that's a lot of evidence, right?
Well, I don't know the format. I don't know what this meeting is for.
Okay, so I don't either. Yeah, that's why I'm confused.
Like the case, whenever the case starts, I'm an extremist. I think that's going to last for 2 months. That will be tons of days.
Yeah.
But I don't know what this is. It might be the preliminary hearing. I think that's what it formally is called. So the judge made it clear that both options were on the table, that it could be 1 day or it could be up to 5 days. So it sounds like it's possible that it could be only a day. Come on, how could anything?
I guess what I was wondering is like, is that what they do for everybody in like any situation? Or right. Is that, yeah.
I don't know that. Where's Liza when you need her? Liza, get back here. So,
yeah, because I'm not much help on legal things.
Which is fine. We can.
Yeah, I don't know anything legal. So.
It's okay to say we don't know, and we can get back to you about it. So,
yeah.
Yes,
I'm sure I'll figure it out here shortly, but
right.
I was just first confused. I'm like, whoa, that seems like a lot of days.
Oh, Liza. Okay. So hello, everybody. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It would be appreciated greatly. And I appreciate that, Lady B. So Liza did tell me what the whoa was for. I cannot believe that you arrived so close to the court time. That was the whoa for. Liza, I was doing it safely. But I did get your message. And I went, I just entered Iowa. I'm going to write. I always call it Iowa. I just entered Idaho. And so I was like, I'm going to tell Liza. She's sharing a lot of information with me. I'm going to tell her that I'm in Idaho. So I safely did I did it all safely. It was at a rest area, if that's what I'm supposed to say. And I did it all safely and was about to start and edit and finish the email. And then I get a message from her that says the court is moved up 2 hours. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm not going to write Liza because I might miss it. I don't want to tell her that, now I'm in Idaho, but I'm going to miss by 30 minutes because this reschedule thing. So I didn't send that to you, Liza. And then I've driven a lot. I've driven coast to coast probably 10 times. And I've never been a semi trucker, but I would deliver cars. And I've never put a number on it, but I'm sure I've driven over 1 million miles or, I've driven a ton. So, and I have a formula. Like if I don't have cruise control in the car, bad news. That's when I get tickets. I need cruise to go a certain speed. So I have my formula, speed limit +5 +2. That's what I do everywhere in the world. And I just set it on that and just do it. So I don't know if y'all have traveled in Colorado and Wyoming and Montana and the two Dakotas, but once you get past Iowa, it's suddenly goes from 65 to 70 to 75 to 80. And there are states in the United States where the legal speed limit is 85 miles an hour. I think that's outrageous. So
Yeah,
80,
we have that.
you have that?
Yeah, in certain places in Maine. I can't remember if it's 85 or 80, but it's up there.
That's insane because when you add the 7, that's 92 miles an hour legally. Now, I do remember when I was on the road for politics, one of the states, it said the speed limit is 85. And it'd say parentheses. It would say it on the sign. It would say, we are not like other states. You can't add 7 miles to it. The speed limit is 85. So I'm like, wow, they know what we do. So, but anyway, that was crazy. So anyway, I enter Idaho. I did everything safely. But it was bad weather. The highway never went straight. There was mountains, there was fog, there was everything. So it tells me I can go 75 miles an hour, which is 82. Then it'd say 80, which is 87. And it's a 90-degree turn. I'm like, who goes 75 miles an hour at a 90-degree turn? So anyway, blah, 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 blah. And, I'm getting closer and closer to the city. And I'm like, this is not going to work. So then, anyway, you heard my story when I got there. I saw Brian Enton and I got in line. But, yeah, I can't believe I made it. As Liza says, I can't believe you arrived so close to the court time. But, Liza, I'm glad you sent me the time change. Because if I was driving there thinking I had 2.5 hours, I'm not sure if I would have been as efficient at my driving. So, I probably would have been late. Lady. Okay. Yeah, sure. Lady. That's fine. I'm looking for something. Be right back. Cool. So, so Liza, no pre-planning. It's difficult for me. That will get my OCD crazy. You did so amazing. And pink waving. Is that what that is? A pinky waving? I don't know what that hand. I don't know. So, anyway, I'm caught up on comments. I can keep telling stories. I don't, I'm the youngest of 9 in an Irish Catholic family. And what I have learned in my family is Irish people are known for being good storytellers. But I think in our family, there's 3 different kinds of storytellers. There's the really good storytellers, and then there's the people who embellish with free license. They can embellish as much as they want. And then the third is they out and out lie. That's kind of the 3 categories. And I think I'm number 2. I'm definitely not a good storyteller. My brother is, and my brother-in-law, they're great storytellers. Anyway, because of my OCD, I usually just the facts, ma'am. So it's usually very boring. And that's why I kept checking in with Lady V going, God, is this an okay story? Is anybody listening? And, Liza was listening. And so anyway, so I can continue stories, or B, we are welcome to talk to you and ask you questions and see how you're doing tonight out in the outside in Maine. That is so cool to be outside. So do you want a few minutes? What do you want to talk about?
We can talk about anything. Yeah, I'm outside right now. It's like 40 degrees, but comparatively to what it's been, it feels really warm. So it's nice to sit outside.
Oh my goodness. Do you have snow on the ground?
Right now, no. It all melted literally overnight. Wow. Like the last 2 days, it was so cold. And then, I don't know, like last night I thought it was raining.
Oh.
And then I came to find out everything was just melting off the roof. And when I came out, I don't even know when I came out earlier, whatever time I woke up, and I said to my husband, there's no snow on the ground. And he's like, yeah, it was hot today. And it's still warm out. So I like to come out here and sit while I can. And
nice.
I think it's quieter out here anyway. All my animals are running around in there. He's playing video games at the moment. So
So is it clear? Is it a clear sky or?
It's
you
a
see
clear
stars?
sky, but I can hear the breeze and it's coming in. So that's why I keep muting my mic every now and then because I don't want to get the breeze on the phone is kind of annoying.
Well, I haven't heard anything, but that's probably because you're perfect at muting. But yeah, I haven't heard anything. But I was
Oh.
just wondering about, if it was cloudy out or if you could see stars.
Right now I can see. There's a couple out there, so I guess it's a little bit cloudy. But I can see a couple right here, so.
Oh, nice. Well,
yeah,
that's cool.
so it's been so cold though. Like, yeesh.
Really? Golly.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Cool. So what did you do during the court date? I guess that's yesterday. But were you watching? Where were you during that actual court time? Were you watching another live stream, or were you watching? I think some people could show it recorded later. So
I think I saw it recorded later.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just woke up a little while ago. I have such a messed up sleep schedule.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's whatever. I eat when I'm hungry and I sleep when I'm tired. So it's just kind of whenever. But I did wake up and saw like all the videos and like the scratches on his face and all that. And I was like, I thought it was really weird. And I had to like step back and realize it's not that weird, like if it came from razors and stuff. But yeah, I saw it all. So
Now, you probably remember about. I'll put Liza's question up, but I'll thank you, Liza. Let me get to that in a minute. Now, you may remember me talking B where that, I can watch video or listen to audio or, these live streamers that watch something 270 times. I can never hear anything. I can never see anything. I can never, it's just, I think it's the static in my head. I can't see very well and I can't focus, I think is what's going on. So I didn't really see his scratches in court. And then Brian Enton, who was, maybe 8 feet closer to the suspect than I was, he said he didn't notice it in court. People had to point it out to him. And when he had a side by side, he was like, yes, this is clearly. Now he tweeted, and he said, the sheriff told us that was because of shaving. Now, one of the ideas I have about the whole topic is, me included, when we hear the word shaving, we hear razor, but really they're saying shaving. And Liza said there's a law that people that are on S watch, you know what an S is,
yeah.
where they want to off themselves.
Yep.
And they're on.
Oh, I don't think I can hear you anymore. Did you unmute? Did you mute? You didn't? I'm not muted, am I? Now I'm unmuted. Oh, Joe, I can't hear you. What do I do?
Hello, can you hear me?
Lady V?
Can you hear me, Joe?
Joe, can you hear me?
We can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
I can hear you. I can't hear Joe.
I can't hear Joe, but I can hear you.
Joe, your ear, we cannot hear you. Joe, you. I can't hear.
It sounded like he might have like unplugged something.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
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 Okay. Yeah. Liza knows me too well. She said, Joe, move something with this cable.
That's what it sounded like for a second. I thought you might have unplugged something.
Liza, do you know how nervous I am? I just play with things. I played with it. I can
Joe,
hear
it's
the
okay.
latest.
I totally understand.
So B, you can hear me and Lady, and so that was all me. Okay, good.
Yeah,
So
everything's fine now.
okay, cool. So Liza has a great question, which I do want to get to, but I wanted to talk to you, B. You were talking about seeing the shaving and stuff. So whether it be a razor or whether it be an electric shaver, what's your take on the irritation on his face? Did you see it pretty clearly?
I only saw it. I didn't notice it when I was first watching the video. I saw it on people's, they put side by sides afterwards. And I don't know, because I used to speak in jails. That was one of my things
Oh,
after
wow.
my accident. Like I used to go and like talk to inmates and stuff. And so I had seen in the jails that they had like wonky mirrors and stuff.
Hmm.
And that wasn't even people who were on, like high alert watch. And so my first thought was he probably had a really bad mirror and then a bad razor. But then I
Oh,
did
golly.
Liza say yesterday that they do it differently with like the buzzers or something. I don't know how. And so
Right.
I don't know. And then my third thought was he literally looks like he got in a fight with a cat. Like he looked like he got slapped by a cat.
That was you. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
So like, I don't know. And you know me, I just go all over the place. So to me, it could be anything. But I think the most rational would be if he's using like a buzzer that he's not used before with a wonky mirror. I don't know if they can cut you very well like that, but if they can, I imagine that's probably how it happened.
Now, well, cool. Thanks for sharing that. Now, last night is kind of a dream to me, but I think last night you also said, I think you asked Liza, but it sounded like you had the opinion that maybe he would cause irritation to himself and
To
blame it
himself.
on the jailers. Was that your thought?
That was one of my other thoughts too. Yeah, because like I said, I go everywhere, and I thought that too. Like, would he be so? I don't even know what the word is, but to like scratch up his own face and then maybe try to claim like, oh, they,
Right.
they're not good to me in there. I don't know. That was another thought that I had, but the most plausible one seems like just, I guess, the wonky mirror and the whatever buzzer, razor, whatever he
Right.
had.
Right. And he used soap instead of shaving cream or,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, and I
Whatever he
didn't
had to
know
do.
any.
Do they allow you to have razors in, like when you're on suicide watch and stuff?
You're wonky, but I heard your question.
Yeah.
I Liza told me that they have electric shavers for people on S Watch. But everybody that talked about it, like when Brian Enton was reporting and then verifying it and stuff, he kept using the word shaving. And I think I hear, and most people probably hear razor. When they hear shaving, they hear razor, but that's not the word they were saying. Brian
Right.
Enton was saying shaving. So that could be an electric shaver. So welcome back, Lady V.
Oh, darn.
Darn. Yeah, it sounds like she had some connection stuff. So come back and I'll drop. I think the link is pretty close, so I probably don't have to drop it again. Anyway, Liza, let me get to your question. But okay, here comes Lady V. 3, 2, 1. There's Lady.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Lady.
Hey, Joe, I'm going to leave you in the
Sure.
capable hands of B, and I'm trying to help
Ooh.
Valerie with hers too. So since you're good, yeah.
Valerie Knox?
Yeah, she should be starting. She tried to come over here right before she did it, but she's not going to be able to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Come to your. She wants to come to yours as well, but she's going to be going live, and
Sweet.
so this is only her second time since she's been back, and she needs somebody to talk to like you did. So I'm going to help her with that.
Aw, that's nice of you.
That sounds great. I completely support her, and I wish her all the best. She wrote something, I think, to her subscribers on the community page or whatever. But she's like, "Hey, I want to do 2 or 3 times a week, and what are good times for you all and
Well,
stuff." So
here's the thing: is like tonight she had it scheduled at 11:15, and then Brittany moved hers up again. You know, Brittany had hers scheduled for 7, and then she
Oh,
moved it to 7:30, and then she moved it again and again, and
right.
so Valerie changed hers till 11:30 because she was doing a Friday the 13th theme
Oh,
type of thing. And
right.
she's like, well, most of my, some of the people are in LA and it's still going to be Friday the 13th there, but a lot of the people it's going to be Friday, Saturday the 14th. So I feel bad. I told her she's just going to have to start scheduling hers and just stick to what she says and don't worry about Brittany. Unfortunately, I mean, you can't, you can only work around somebody so much. And I adore Brittany and I'm not saying anything against her or anything,
Oh,
but
no. I mean,
if things keep getting moved up, then that's, makes it hard on somebody else trying to schedule around you. So,
but I mean, as you know, Lady V, I always had challenges with conflicting with
yeah,
T-Rev and
right.
Brittany and Lost Souls, and I was like, I'm trying to make myself schedule at 5 p.m., but my life's not conducive to that.
Well, and you
So
just
I
have to
usually
do you. You just
and
have to do you and not worry about anybody else. But I mean, I would feel I feel the same way Valerie does about,
oh
I mean,
yeah,
Brittany helped her get going and all of that. And I would never do anything to hurt Brittany at all
oh
if,
sure.
you know, so she's kind of trying to figure out whether she's going live tonight. So I'm going to talk to her and find out what's
Well,
going on.
I support her doing. I mean, how many YouTube livers had 1,000 subscribers before her first video,
Yeah.
before her first live? 1,000.
Yeah.
That
She
was
did
incredible.
great. She
So
did
anyway,
great.
yeah, good luck. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Lady V.
You guys have fun. Bye. I love y'all.
Hey, bye, Lady V. Love you.
Tell Valerie I said hello and good luck.
I can't
So,
believe she thinks I'm responsible enough to do this on my own.
you're a
I
rock
will
star.
try my hardest.
And don't feel the commitment and don't worry about anything and feel free to leave when you need or come back when you need or do whatever you want. So
Oh, no, I
Liza,
think I'm fine.
I think you're fine too. I think you'll do great.
Oh, well,
So
thank you, Joe.
Liza, I've never tried to say your whole name. Maybe I'll try it this time. No. Okay, I'll try. Liza Road de Waller Bridge. Road to Waller Bridge. Road to Waller Bridge. I think that's pretty straightforward, Liza. Are any of those accent aigus or accent graves? Is there different pronunciation? Okay. Anyway, she says, "Hey, how you felt when you saw the suspect?" Oh, I wanted to kill him. No, I'll answer that. I'm asking because people say I see those evil eyes, and I don't see anything in particular. As far as the second half of your question, I don't necessarily see anything in particular. There was one picture of Brian, and I don't like to call him by his name, but I do like to call him by his name. So I don't know what to do. Liza said she prefers suspect, so maybe I'll say suspect. But there was one picture of the suspect that really bothered me. And he really looked, I don't use words normally like demented, but he seemed challenged at the time that he took the picture. And, supposedly he wrote that one thing when he was 16 years old. And, I mean, he had a lot of stuff going on in his head, if that was really him, but I think it was really him. So I kind of agree. I don't really see, I mean, everybody's thinking, that he's got to be involved with the animal the one doggy that was not treated well at all. They're like, oh, that's got to be the same person. You can't have two crazed people in Idaho at the same time. And I'm like, there are unhinged people everywhere, and they could be in your town.
Yeah.
It's not just Moscow. So I don't like to say he's evil incarnate or any of that kind of stuff. Anyway, the first part of your question, how do you feel when you saw the suspect? I didn't really feel much, but I think that was because of my sensory overload. I got in and it was going to start in 7 minutes. So I didn't have enough time to focus on anything. And then when it became 8 o'clock and they didn't come into the room, I was perseverating about that, which is odd. I mean, just wait, Joe. Just wait.
No, I totally get that.
But that's what I want to, I want to focus on them. So I should stop perseverating. But anyway, when I told the story about what happened at the courtyard, when he said yes, yes, and no, I think that answers your question, Liza. I thought those were, when he said, yes, does he understand 14 days? Yes, did his lawyer tell him why he needs more than 14 days? And does he need more time to discuss? And he said no. So those 3 simple words, I mean, he didn't give me a paragraph. He gave me 3 words. Yes, yes, no. I took it to mean he was calm. He was confident. He was not crazy. He was not crazy. These are 3 words. I know I think I'm pretty in tune with people, but I know that's crazy to think I can hear it in 3 words. But his hair looked nice. I mean, I was just like, man, does he really think he's going to get not admonished? What's that word? Exonerated. He thinks he's going to get exonerated. So anyway, I hope that answers the question. B, what do you think of that question? You can.
Yeah, I think he still thinks he's going to be able to get away somehow. I don't know how, but it's straight. I mean, I can't really read him.
Oh yeah.
But I'm good at reading anybody, but especially this guy. It's so bizarre. And like hearing the reactions from you and like the ones from Kaylee's parents the other day, it's like kind of the same thing. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, because you see pictures of him and some of them, he does look super evil. And then in other ones, it's like, I don't mean this disrespectfully. Well, it's going to come off that way anyway, but he just looks kind of pathetic, sitting in the courtroom. So it's really bizarre to me, but I do feel like he honestly thinks that he's going to be able to get out of this somehow. And who knows, maybe he really actually is the wrong guy. I think of everything, but
right.
at this point, like if it's him, yeah, I think he just thinks that he's going to get away with it. And I don't think he is. Honestly, I just don't think he is.
Those are some great points. Those are now, I just had a horrible feeling or a horrible thought when you mentioned Kaylee's parents. I don't know if you were here for my whole story of what happened when I went to the court. But the bailiff gave me a choice, and he said, well, you can just go into the room and without any special consideration, or we can open up the B court room and you can watch it on Zoom. And I said, I drove 38 hours. I want to see it live. So I walked into the courtroom and I saw it there. But now that you mentioned Kaylee's parents, guess who I did not see in the courtroom? I didn't see any of the parents. So that means they were in the Zoom room.
Oh.
So I would have been right next to all the parents. And I don't know if all 4 sets of parents, but I'm sure Ethan's parents are there. I don't think of Maddie's dad probably. He's a hit or miss. I think, and Xana, so I'm thinking, golly, I just missed it. And I don't want to talk about it as if it's an opportunity because they're
but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, golly, I would have been, and me. It would have been me and 8 parents.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, because I know they went to the first one, right? Right?
I think so. And I think they went to this one too, because it was supposed to be 14 days. They were going to find out about something in 14 days, and then it ended up being, June. I don't know how many days that is. A ton.
A ton. It was like, what is it, 5 months or 4.5 months?
Yeah.
Well, end of June, 5 months.
So 150 days. So it went from 14 days to 150 days. That's a huge change. So anyway, so I'm going to jump down to the bottom of the comments. I'm sorry if I've missed people. So Liza. Okay, so let me just go here. Lady B doing the Brittany. Yeah, she's going to do Valerie. Oh, Valerie, cool. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Brittany too, but yes, it was Valerie. So, Liza, I didn't get any rescheduled. YouTube, it's crazy. I didn't get any rescheduled. Oh, you're talking about Brittany. So when Brittany changes, you don't get the rescheduled. Now, the only thing I know, which is very limited, but I only know what Brittany said once. And I now schedule according to what she said. Ever since she said it, I've scheduled that way. Before it, I never scheduled that way. But Brittany said, oh, if you schedule more than an hour in advance, the notifications go out. If you do less than an hour, no notifications go out. So I'm imagining her reschedule was within an hour, I think. But let's see. You are right, Lady V. And then great. Yeah, I love Valerie. Valerie is a rock star. So I'll tell her. Oh, did she hear that? Yeah, about, and I know. Cool. So TV people change color of pics. I don't trust pics. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know how to use my iPhone at all, but I know some people that do know how to use their iPhones and their devices and everything. And you can take a picture of yourself and make it look like you're Brad Pitt. So, I mean, I'm just blown away why people trust pictures so easily because anything can be adjusted. But anyway, TV people change color of pics. I don't trust pics. Oh, TV people. So that was Brian Enton. Okay, so I think she was talking about News Nation. Is it News? Yeah, News Nation. So any thoughts on that, B? What do you think of the cat scratched face?
Well,
do you,
yeah.
do you think that could be doctored?
Oh yeah. I have a hard time with things on the internet because I'll first look at them for what they are, and then step back and think, okay, why is it like that? And I will look at other pictures to see, because like I don't know much about tech, but I know enough that you can like higher up the contrast on some things and lighten and darken things. So, yeah, it's a hard one. I think he definitely has something on his face. The way that it was edited in some pictures, though, I think it made it look way worse than what it actually is.
Now, the picture I saw, which, I there could be more than one picture, but I think the most common was it had side by side. And the thing I noticed about his face that was supposedly was good was completely white. He was pale white.
Yeah.
And then the one that was scratched up, his skin was like a bright yellow, almost orange. And I'm like,
the skin tone was a lot warmer, and like I could tell that was instantly, it was not the same. Like something had been doctored up on that. Like it might be, or maybe it was two different cameras that took it with two different settings. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to tell these days.
Yeah, no kidding.
But he looks like he has some pretty good skin, and then in that like warmer, like more red photo, it looks like blotchy or like bruised, some people said. And I don't know. I don't know a lot about that stuff, but I do know a little bit about makeup and like pigment and like warm contrast and cool contrast, and like how just the littlest thing can change, or like, what am I looking? Just like change the perception of the way your eyes see it. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but and I just look at it from that perspective too. Like, well, yeah, well, I'd look like that on the right side too if I put a bunch of blush on my face, and which is the same as like adding contrast. So I don't know. This is why I go in circles, though. Like I'll talk in my head to myself out loud, just over and over and over.
Oh, and and I don't think, I don't think you're saying that something's wrong with that, but I think that's better than to have one thought and say, I know he's guilty, and I know he did this, and I know he
Yeah.
didn't, and think that for 63 days, from day one, they never budged. And, they might be totally wrong. So I think it's okay to be, wow, Tuesday I felt that, and Thursday I felt that, and Sunday I
Oh,
felt
yeah.
that. And,
Ever
'cause-
since the beginning, my opinion with this whole case is it's changed with the direction of the wind. Like, it's crazy. And I've never had one solid, like, this person did it, or this person did it, or this is why. And
right.
it can be annoying because I want that, but I can't stop the circle. Like, it just keeps going. So.
Amen. So, hey, OTC, I guess that was 2 minutes ago. So sorry, I missed you, OTC. And he says it was shaving cuts. Yeah, we were talking about Brian Enton earlier in that Brian tweeted it. And Brian said, I was in the courtroom. I was within 10 feet of him, and I didn't notice anything. And he said, I needed it to be brought up to me. And then he retweeted that with more information, and it said the sheriff's confirmed that was from shaving. And I know I do it. When I hear the word shaving, I think razor. I don't know why. That's not what they said. They say shaving. But I guess when you're on S-Watch, you get an electric shaver. So, OTC, you're saying it was shaving cuts. It sounds like you're talking about a razor too, but it probably was not a razor, because he probably wasn't allowed to use a razor. Now, I'm sure someone could say, no, I know I know the parole officer, I know the guard, and the guard said it was a razor. I don't know who's going to confirm whether it's a razor or not. But anyway, but it's good to see you, OTC. So let me back up here a little bit. Liza, I'm trying to get all your comments, Liza, because you put so much work into them. I agree totally with your assessment, Joe. Thank you. Was that the yes, no, where he said, I thought he was calm. I thought he was confident. I thought he was not mentally unstable. He was slick. Not slick. I wouldn't use the word slick, but I'm trying to formulate other words in my head. So Liza, I'm trying to read him, but if he really has visual snow, that will be almost impossible. Now, Liza, I don't know if you were there. I forget when I started hearing about visual snow. I was a viewer. I was watching someone. I don't think it was Brittany. I think it was someone else. I think it was Lost Souls, and they were. No, I don't think it was her either. Someone I was watching, and they were talking about visual snow, and he was, that his most recent writing as a 16-year-old, I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that was Reddit or, but it sounds reasonable that it could be him. But he was writing, and that happened at the same time that VS started. And half the crowd knew for sure he meant visual snow, and half the crowd knew he meant vocational school, because he has both. And I'm like, how can... I generally throw up my hands with, all of you are wrong, because not both of y'all can be 100%. No one knows for sure. But anyway, while that was happening, I got offline, or I was listening to him, but I looked up visual snow. I was like, what the F is visual snow? Which God, I wish I knew where that information came from. But the thread that he was writing on, its name was visual snow, was the name of the thread, part of it. It had like 5 words, and 2 of the words was visual snow. So that's why the people that, they're like, that's why it's visual snow. Stop talking about vocational school. So while I'm listening, I look it up, and boy, this is a long story of nothing. But as I looked it up, I said, I've had that. I don't know if it's OCD related, or, I certainly have had visual snow. Now, I don't think it's excessive or extreme or concerning, or maybe not even currently, but I had it was a real thing. And the way I described it, and again, I'm not trying to correlate a OCD to visual snow, because he seems a little OCD-ish, but that doesn't mean you become an SK or a MK, or you don't do that just because you're OCD. But anyway, the way I described it, it was like and I don't know if B, you kind of understand what visual snow is. Um,
Wow. I've never heard of it until it's been brought up, but I've always been told I had floaters. When I explained things to my eye doctor back in the day, she'd be like, "Yeah, those are floaters." And so but I know floaters are also a real thing. So I'm trying to figure out now, but a lot of the things that he says about like the dots, and he was talking about like a specific orange fuzz that he couldn't get out of his eyes. And that's really funny. I get that sometimes too.
wow.
Probably not to the degree that he does, but mine are different colors. Mine are they're not like so extreme. They're like purple and white and maybe like a blue. Yeah. So like now I'm wondering, I'm like, do I have that? I don't know, because I'm all messed up. So who knows? But
Well,
it like struck a bell in me when he said it. I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, I see those things too. Not all the time. Like it's not on like a regular basis, but yeah,
hey,
weird.
hot mess. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean that's kind of like what I was thinking. Hey, hot mess, it's good to see you. Hey, Joe, I'll be back. Just wanted to say hi. It's great that you stopped by. I love seeing you as always. And I'm just trying to get back in the swing of things. I'm in Idaho. I got here whenever court date was. I guess that was yesterday, but it seems like it was forever ago. But I got into Idaho, like I got to Moscow 30 minutes before the court, and I got into the court. But so I'm out here for a while, even though the next event is June 26th. But I'm going to figure out something to do here for a week or two. But it's good to see you, hot mess. Now, so B, yeah, I had similar thoughts of like, wow, is that really? But the way I like floaters, I like that description a little better for my situation. But
Yeah.
the way I mean, I always I was always really good at math, and I was a numbers person, and I would always have OCD patterns, and I would like to I would just it was kind of what I did. Not like the movies. I didn't line up my 27 pairs of shoes and stuff, but I could. I'd be back. Yeah, I must. That's amazing, Joe. And I'd be back. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Take care, hot mess. It's great to see you. But anyway, it's and everything's musical to me too. So I think I didn't hear music in my head, but I would put whatever I experience to music.
Yeah.
So the way I described it is like if I moved my eyes from left to right, the snow would move with me. And so if I moved it back to the left, it'd move back. So I would do it like a typewriter. So I would slowly go left to right and then go back quick. And then it would return like, I don't know if you know manual typewriters, like the real old ones.
Yeah.
Okay. So it you flick that thing and it, so I was doing that. And so I called it a typewriter kind of thing. And I never hit it for many of my doctors, but I don't know if I ever, I'm sure I had conversations, but it wasn't anything major. I just did the thing. But anyway, hearing about him, I'm like, it could be it's a real thing. So it really could be, that could be a 16-year-old kid. And I don't want to describe it this way. I mean, he's horrible what he's done.
Yeah.
And there is no excuses and there's no nothing. But it could have been a 16-year-old reaching out for help, of saying, things are kind of messed up. And, he took some sleeping pills or not sleep, some migraines. Yeah, migraines. And it became too many and he almost OD'd. And, and it's like, where are the parents? I mean, he's 16 years old. Why are they not hearing this message from him? But
Yeah.
But again, I don't want I'm not giving him excuses of why he did this. There is no excuse.
No, I don't think you're giving him excuses. I understand though what you're saying. I do.
And
It's sad.
you know, when I first started doing YouTube Live, everybody's like, "You got to say allegedly, and you have to say speculation and all that stuff." And I was like, oh, "Okay, I guess I'll try to do that." And I don't like the word allegedly. I like to say speculation. But now that we have a suspect, I have to remind myself that he's innocent until proven guilty. so, so that's probably the mantra I need a lot more than the allegedly and the speculation one. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so Liza says, I have all his messages from 2009 to 2012. I can send them to you guys. It is a very difficult reading when one realizes it comes from a kid. So 2009 is what? That's 14 years ago, and he's 28. So he's 14 to 17 years old. 14 to 17. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, my upbringing was not phenomenal, and my family had a lot of things messed up. So by the time I was 14, I was a way grown up. I was a way fucking grown up. But I was still 14. But so anyway, I mean, you know, again, some people mature really quickly. So 14 doesn't mean the same thing to everybody. You know, it's not like we're like, man, I was, you know, barely wiping my own ass, or, you know, my dad had to do everything for me, or, you know, I mean, and it's like, not everybody's like that. Oh, and then the other extreme. I'm fairly irresponsible, and you know, I'm the youngest of 9, and I'm just fairly irresponsible. And so the suspect is 28 years old. Well, all these people got on their high horse and says he's 28. Why is his dad driving him home? And he should be independent. I'm like, 28 years old. I was just warming up on how to be, you know, independent. Anyway. And I know I'm not the typical story, but I don't think the high horse people are the typical story either. That,
No.
you know, 18, you're an adult. 21, you graduate from college. 24, you're married, you know, and you're out of the house, and you're, you know, it's not the way it works. So, I guess I'm going to have to get a little quiet here. There's people sitting down to eat. Anyway, so Liza, I would probably like to get those, and you send me a ton of stuff, but I would like to get those. But where did they come from? That's what my the thread. What was that thread? What was that coming from? Reddit or not? Where did we find the information recently? But where was the information originally? Did he have a Reddit account? Did he have a Medium account? You know, what account was he writing to? And I'm sure you know, Liza, you always know all those details. But anyway, that'd be cool. 9:18. That was 5 minutes ago. Boy, I hope I didn't miss her. So, so I felt very bad for the kid who wrote those feelings. VS visual snow does not have a cure. I'm not giving excuses, but I wonder when he went wrong, if he is the guilty party and he was the one who wrote them. Yeah, when he went wrong. I mean, and I mean, with every court case, I mean, we're always trying to find the red flags, and we're like, why didn't they see this red flag? And why didn't we see that red flag? And I think 2020, you know, hindsight is 2020. So we can't really complain to the parents, but I think some of it, you do have to. And I mean, the parents won't ever ask my opinion, so I can't really question the parents. Although if I was in Pennsylvania a little longer, which I could do on the way back, but I want to interview his parents, especially his dad. And I won't scream at his dad. I will be as open-minded as I can. And I'll be open-minded. But so anyway, you know, this is a 15 to 17-year-old kid. And I don't know if he had siblings, but
yeah, he had 2 older sisters.
2 older sisters.
Yeah.
And I guess the father had challenge was with his siblings growing up, like he felt like he was the black sheep or something. But again, that doesn't, you still are supposed to step up as a parent. If you're going to have kids, you're supposed to step up. Not everybody does, but so anyway, and like I said, if I was wearing one hat, which I don't, I wear many hats, but if I wore one hat, it'd be an advocate. So I generally advocate for the victim. So that's what I generally do. But I don't think I will ever read anything ever to be sympathetic toward Brian, ever. But that's odd, because I'm normally the advocate for the victim. Not meaning the four victims. So, I mean, clearly that's the most extreme victim.
Yeah.
And that's the most important, and that's the one we should be focused on. But yeah, I would like to see what you have written, and I'm sure you probably have already sent it to them. So what do you think about this? I almost forgot what I read. But yeah, do you have any thoughts about Liza's comment there?
I agree a lot with what Eliza says a lot of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
I mean,
good.
I feel bad too. My thing is, and I don't mean to sound like cruel, but
Right.
everybody has hard times in their lives. There's so few people who go through life with just no problems.
Exactly.
And I completely get that. And like the two things I've learned in my own personal life is either losing your independence or losing control of yourself. And so like with his visual snow, if it was affecting him that bad, I can imagine those feelings. However, I can't imagine acting out on anything like that and doing things to other people because I have my own problems. And I just know that there's not a fix for everything in the world. Like people like to think that there is.
Right.
All problems can be fixed, but really time will heal all wounds. But to me, there's still going to be wounds. And that's just how I look at it. So I can completely empathize with people because like I've been there too, I was bullied to an extent, and then I've also been the bully. So I can see it. Yeah, I can see it from both sides. And it's terrible for that person. It is horrible. And it's like, what are you going to do about it? Because there's always going to be those people there. My mom used to tell me that from a young age, and it drove me nuts. That I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go off on a story, but
no, please do.
It was somebody. I was in grade school, right? I was in like first, second, and third grade, and we had these classes that looped together. I don't know, the two grades. So I was in this class with this one person I did not like, and they did not like me. And we always ended up in the same. Yeah, we always ended up in the same class. And I would go home crying.
Did you say first, second, and third grade?
Yes, it was called looping.
And you all already didn't like each other at such a young age?
No, we didn't. It was cruel.
Oh, wow. Okay, I just needed to. Thank you. Keep going.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And so I would come home crying. And if my mom finally one day, she sat me down, and I was so mad about this till I was in my teens, even till after she passed. But she had said, she was like, you know what, Caitlin, the world is tough. There's always going to be somebody out there that you don't like. And you know what? There's always going to be somewhere you go that they don't like you. So you have to remember that. And I was like, that's so not fair. And she goes, honey, the world's not fair. I was like 6 or 7. Okay. I didn't want to hear this.
Right.
But she's right. And, so I don't know how to stop the problem, because the problem is it does start young and it really does affect kids. So I completely get that. But to get so mad about things and go and try to, ruin other people's lives and take other people's lives from them, that part does not make sense to me, and it's really, really sad. It's really, really sad.
And I don't think any of that was extreme. I mean, I can think that, I basically agree with everything Liza said, and I basically agreed with everything you said. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, that's my
just-
biggest problem is I can agree with like literally I can see it from all sides. So it's hard to figure out like, like who to feel bad for, because I do feel bad for Brian in a sense if that was him. In a sense. But then I hate the guy for what he did. I mean, how cruel, how just inhumane can you be because you're upset? Like
right. No
I just
matter
say
what they did. Yeah. No
try
matter
to
what.
grow thicker skin or something. Don't be, taking other people out. That's crazy to me. I don't know.
Right.
It's sad. I'm sorry. I don't mean to talk so much.
No, I get to talk. I agree.
Yeah.
That's
So
for sure. Well, cool. Thanks for that story. That's um, again with my perseverating, I always want to hear a story, but if then doesn't make sense, I was like, wait, I'm sorry. So you were in first, second, third grade? I'm like, wow, to dislike someone, and I mean, I can't even think back to first, second, and third
yeah.
grade, but to be that young and that opinionated, like I was
Yeah.
probably just trying to survive in school. Like, hey, they gave me an apple today. Like they're okay. They're pretty cool friends. Instead of like, don't you sit next to me, you mf'er. I mean, I don't. I mean, that would be
Oh,
wild.
yeah. No, it would the bullying around my area, at least just in my school, it started early and it was like
Oh
bad.
man,
Yeah, we'd like get in fights on the playground. It was so absurd.
come on, come on.
And we were all so mean to each other. I don't know. Everybody really in high school ended up becoming friends, I guess. But yeah, I don't know what it is with kids and why they feel they have to be so mean. But we felt that way. Apparently, kids still feel that way. It's sad. It's
Yeah.
sad. And I
Now
don't know where it comes from.
yeah, and I don't know if you've read my rules, but I hate bullying, and I despise it so much. But I was a foster parent, so I took care of a bunch of teenage boys, but I have anyway. I guess I can't talk about my family, but I don't have a ton of bio kids, and for all my bio kids that I didn't have many of, I would have conversations with them and say, okay, I don't want any bullying. As soon as you're bullied, tell me, tell the teacher, tell the principal. I want it to be nixed. And they ended up doing, you know, pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, and then 8 years, and then 4 years of high school. And all of my bio kids graduated from high school, and they said, Dad, I was never bullied. And I'm like, that's bullshit. There's bullying everywhere. And she's like, you can believe me or not, but I was never bullied. And I'm like, bullshit. And after a while, I'm like, okay, I guess I should believe her because she's a really cool kid and she's not going to lie. And she tells me the truth and stuff. So, but yeah, it was just, it's that one person describes, anyway, it's for a different disease, but they talk about how some people can walk through the poison ivy patch and get poison
Yep.
ivy, but some of them can walk through the poison ivy patch and never pick it up. And that happened to all my children. That
That's
they
good.
they went through
never got
school. They
bullied.
were they didn't test people. They didn't challenge. I mean, they spoke up for that. They took care of themselves, and they
Yeah.
would describe their side. But I was like, come on, not one. She said, not one. So I think, when she's 30, I'll probably ask her, okay, so was that the truth?
Right.
And she'll like, well, you're too sensitive, Dad. I couldn't tell you when they were beating up on me or, talking about, it's that time of the month for you, kid, or, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever things they could be saying. So anyway, yeah, it's wild how, and I don't think I grew up being bullied. I mean, oddly enough, I'm the youngest of 9, and
Yep.
one of my brothers is 4 years older than me. And, I'm 62 and we're every 2 years, for 18 years, 9 kids, 18 years, every 2 years. And, as recent as a year or 2 or 3, he'd go, God, I feel so horrible about how I treated you when you're a kid. And I said, you're right. And he
Your
was like,
siblings?
yeah, my siblings.
Oh,
And
mine still won't admit it. It's absurd.
but he would, and he's kind of wants me to say, "Oh no, that's okay." And so I would say, if you want me to say it was okay, I'm not gonna say it's okay. But
Yeah.
but I'm glad you're acknowledging it. That's nice that you're acknowledging it. And he was like, "Oh, please, please." Oh, because he's older than me, but he had kids much later than me. And he was like, now that I have kids and I see how they treat each other, I can't believe I did what I did with you. We should have been protecting each other in this crazy family that was violent and
Yeah.
unstable. And, so he should have been doing the opposite. So anyway, I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm not gonna let you off. And I said, I'm whatever. I'm in recovery, not real active, but AA has the 12 steps, and so we kind of know the 12 steps. So I was like, Ray, making amends doesn't matter how I react. It's between you and your God. So just make the amend. Don't worry about how I'm going to react. And he was like, okay, I know that. And I'm like, well, just do it. I'm not going to forgive you. So let God take care of it.
Yeah,
Then you'll be
seriously.
fine. So, but anyway, it's, I don't know why I'm talking about bullying and stuff, but, so it will be interesting, all his stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, I kind of had an idea of how long I wanted to talk tonight. I always want to talk shorter than I actually do talk. I Last night I did exactly an hour or pretty close to it, and that was because I was super tired. And I thought I would do the same thing tonight, but clearly we're at an hour and 41 minutes and 30 seconds. So, but I'm thinking of winding it down. I would love to support Valerie. Of course, I'd love to support Valerie. Um, I of course would love to support uh, lost souls. Do you go to Lost Souls ever? I mean, you don't have to tell
Oh
me who
yeah,
you.
I go over there every night.
Okay, yeah, she's a rock star, isn't she?
Yeah,
She's
like
great.
last night I hopped off yours, I went right over to hers.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I'd love to support Valerie and Lost Souls Scarlet. And I don't know if you were there that one night when I was on the panel, and
Toilets.
one of the nights I was on the panel, I probably said her name, and I tell this story a lot, but I said her name probably 60 times or more, and probably 30 times I said Scarlet, and 30 times I said Charlotte. And
Whatever. It's not even her real name.
and I didn't even know I was saying two different names. And one of the guys, Ray, or one of the real funny, dry humor kind of guys, he was like, Joe, you said so many times, I thought I had her name wrong. But anyway, it was funny. And
That's
I was
funny.
I was so certain of her name. I kept, but there was no pattern. I just would randomly say one or the other. It was weird. Anyway, so those two, and then Brittany, of course, the reason I am live streaming is because of Brittany. So I will always have a special place in my heart for Brittany, for sure.
Aw.
Yeah, she's so and Liza, of course, says I love both too. So yeah, I'll probably head. I did drop into Lost Souls for like 20 seconds last night, and I said, man, I can't do it. If I stay
Aw.
more than a minute, I'll be here for 2 hours and I won't get any sleep. So
You needed rest. I am so happy you got rest. I was a little worried. I was a little worried.
I was worried. I wanted to get back in the car and
Yeah.
just drive 38 hours and say,
Yeah.
F this. I made the biggest mistake in the world. I spent a lot of money, and it was the biggest disaster in the world. And so today I'm like, no, let's try to figure this out. Let's see who I can interview. Like, I don't want to go to both vape stores. And I'd love to interview. I mean, a lot of people I want to interview, they have a gag. What's it called? Gag order?
Yeah, Gordy.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to interview the prosecutor. And I love the coroner still. Everybody hates the coroner, but I love her. And she's an idiot, so she probably would speak. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that I do love her. I think she was, anyway. everybody has their opinion about her. But uh, so there might be some things that I get done here.
Oh, I don't think it's a lost cause for you. I was just, when I saw how tired you were last night, I was like, thank God he made it and he can sleep. Like, oh.
And you probably heard me tonight where I told Lady V, I said, it's a 38-hour drive, and it's 38 hours
Yeah.
if you don't add the time to get gas, to the bathroom, to the
Yeah.
restroom. That's 38 hours just driving. It's 38 hours. And
Yeah.
every 2 to 3 hours I was giving up. So I don't know how I made it. I mean, I don't. I really don't.
But you did.
I did. But anyway, so like Kaylee's family, I would
Yeah.
imagine Steve kind of has a media withdrawal, because now nothing's going to happen until June. Excuse me for my
Yeah.
voice. So, I could probably interview him. He would be like, yes, I just want to talk to media. Yes, please. So
Some
anyway,
people like that. Some people do enjoy, it helps them to talk about it. So,
and I think I generally am a great interviewer. Now, when I get into my funk, I can think of the zinger questions, but I don't ever actually ask the zinger questions. And before the interview, I tell them, what do you want to talk about? Is it okay if I ask these 3 questions? And, and what other questions do you want me to focus at? And, I take their lead. And so, yeah, I don't think I would try to zinger them at all. Let's see, Liza. I think the coroner was acting under the orders of the chief of police. A lot of false information was given to us. I still love her. But that seems so foreign. Back when I was supporting the coroner every other day because everybody's ripping her to shreds. But yeah, it seems like a distant dream now. But and I would have, and I don't like to, I'm not real macho, so I don't like using the words like balls and stuff, but I would even have the balls to go up to the chief of police and make an amend and tell him how badly I treated him.
really?
And, oh yeah, yes, I would be. Now
Good for you.
I would want the interview. I would want him to talk to me and give me an interview. But yes, I would come clean. And I mean, I don't want to, give him the days and times and which video that I did it on.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Because he could probably sue me and stuff. But
Oh,
no,
God.
yeah, sue me for no money that I have. Yeah, you sued the wrong person. Find someone that's rich. Anyway,
yeah, be careful whatever you do. Good God, Joe.
And I've had some pretty amazing stories because I do things like that. People are like, no, don't talk to the chief, and then it ends up being a phenomenal experience. So I don't know if I am careful all the time. I probably should be more careful. But anyway, that's I've had some spectacular stories because of those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so
Anywho.
I think I'm going to wind down. Did you have anything you want to talk about or end your time with or anything like that, B?
Nothing in particular. I was just happy to see you on tonight and looking better.
Well,
Yeah.
well, thanks. Yeah, I definitely feel better. So that's cool.
You feel you look better, you sound better, you're like back to your normal self. So I'm not worried about you anymore.
Oh, phew, that's good.
Yeah.
But I did a lot. I went to a library. I live at libraries. I love libraries. I print stuff up and, anyway, the library I went to, which is like 4 miles away. It's really close. It's open Saturday and Sunday. So I don't know if you know much about libraries, but they're never open on Sunday and they're almost never open on Saturday. So I can go there tomorrow and probably live stream and try to do a few things there. But
that'll be fun.
Do all the research that Liza keeps sending me. I'm like, okay, I'll read it. I swear I'll read it. But so yeah, I'm gonna spend several hours at the library tomorrow.
Oh, good.
So anyway.
Well, I'll drop off so you can go and go and support Valerie, and I'll head over to Lost Souls.
Lost
Go
Souls.
give her some support.
Yeah, and I'll probably go to both. I'll probably do the same to Valerie that she wants. You know, I'll probably just drop by and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm going to Lost Souls, but I love you, Val. Do whatever you want." But there's only one of us, so we can't be everywhere all the time.
Right. Well, it was good talking to you tonight, and I shall see you in one of the other chats, possibly.
Yes, B. Thanks for coming up, and have a great night. And
Yes.
I appreciate you up here anytime, all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time.
Thanks for having me. I love coming up here.
Cool. I'm glad you do.
Okay. Good
See
night.
you. Good night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. So I'm gonna not do my 45-minute goodbye. Probably not do my 13-minute goodbye. I'm gonna just do my normal goodbye, or I don't know what that is. But I would like to acknowledge the 6 streams that I streamed to at the same time. Hello and thank you, and I appreciate you. Facebook profile. I didn't mention you until now, but I do appreciate you. Facebook page, that's my second one. LinkedIn profile, that's my third one. YouTube with no descriptor, just YouTube. That's my foundation. That's the one. And then Twitch. I'm still trying to learn about Twitch, but I don't know much about it. And then Twitter, which is currently my biggest network. I guess oh shit, it's the 13th. My first month of testing ends in 3 days, which I don't know if I can make a decision. I don't know how much notice you have to give them to be able to make a different decision. I guess I'll just buy another month. Anyway, whatever. But the reason I won't do StreamYard would be because that Twitter can't send comments, which is what it's all about. This is about interaction and engagement. That's the word I'm trying to look for. So anyway. So, Liza, I assume you've already taken off to one of the others too, which I think is great. Please do. Please do. It says 3, so I bet Liza's still here. But Liza, thank you for all your emails. Thank you for all the information. I'll be at the library most of tomorrow. I think it's 10 to, you're in Florida, right? So yeah, I think it's 10 to, I don't know, 10 to 5 or something. I'll probably be there for the whole time. But that's Pacific time. So that's 1 to 8, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'll be at the library. And I'm trying to get in the swing of things. I'm OCD. I'm hoping to stream twice a day, maybe. But I have to do YouTube. I have to do TikTok. There's a lot of things I need to do. I'm real negligent on TikTok, and I have to get back to getting 1,000 followers. Motorsports is kicking up, and that's where I got all my followers from. But I don't know where I sit with the motorsports. Currently, motorsports is very shallow. It's just a bunch of spoiled billionaires and millionaires that don't want to support my invisible disabilities causes and missions and awareness at the tracks, but they don't mind spending billions on their own fun. It's weird. I've had a hate-love relationship with NASCAR and motorsports, but I don't think I'm going to go in that direction. I don't know. I mean, it's, Daytona 500's in a month, so I might be, okay, I was just joking. I'm going back to motorsports, but I don't think I'm going to. So anyway, y'all take care. And yeah, so support Valerie Knox. She's probably live right now. Support Lost Souls TC in chat, True Crime in chat. She's live, and Brittany's probably still live too. So I might drop into all 3, but anyway, y'all take care. It's good to see y'all. I'm going to check the 6 streams. So end broadcast in 3, 2, 1, and then let's see here. I like the corner. In Latah County, the corner is under the chief of police. I will check the law again to there. Oh yeah, that's you can check that if you want, Liza. See you tomorrow. Send you tomorrow the info. Liza, you're a rock star. But ciao. The reason I like the corner and this has now changed, but my opinion about her hasn't changed. But the reason I like the coroner is it appeared that she was the most revealing with all the information. Now we have learned that some of the information wasn't accurate, but she said, and I'll butcher it because it's been 9 weeks. I don't remember quoting something yesterday, but where she said all 4 people died in bed, all 4 people were asleep, and it was one night. That's what she said, and I generally all 3 of those things lasted for a long time, and then you heard about defensive wounds, and maybe Xana was out of bed, and maybe Ethan was out of bed, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I like her for sure. So in Latah County, the coroner is under the chief of police. I'll check the law again tomorrow. Thank you. You're a rock star. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you over in, I'll probably do Valerie. Well, I'm going to go to the restroom, and then Valerie, and then Losso's. And I might stop by Brittany, maybe just to see who's on the panel. But, principles before personalities. There's some personalities that I don't care for on their panels. Not Brittany, but others I don't, So anyway, talk to you later. So end broadcast, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to end broadcast again. So ciao. And comments will be open while I check the 6 things over the next few minutes. So end broadcast in 3,